Hello and welcome. Today I am super excited. We have a special program just for you, especially with an area I think that is, well, it's near and dear with me because some of you might not know I have a 79-year-old, 89-year-old father. I aged him 10 years younger. He'd be happy with that. Who's dealing with Alzheimer's. And it's been a learning experience for myself and my sister as we kind of navigate through this. So this is a subject that's near and dear to my life. I'm honored to have an opportunity to introduce Barbara Klein-Roebuck and Donna McCullough. We first got connected probably, gosh, it's got to be 10 years ago.
Yeah.
They asked me to do music for a project, a musical project for people dealing with dementia and Alzheimer's. And so it kind of, we did our thing and then it kind of went away. And then like all great things, they come back around again. And so here we are again. And I wanted just to really, bring this to the forefront because I know that not only myself, but I know that many of us are dealing with loved ones or perhaps maybe even with ourselves with this situation that can be so detrimental to obviously quality of life and impact the family and relationship in so many different ways. So I'm really honored to be addressing this really, area of huge importance. So before we get started, I wanted to definitely honor these two with giving them a full bio introduction. So excuse me for reading a little bit, but I don't want to miss anything here because they all have such beautiful pieces here. So I'm interviewing two people today. And at first is Barbara Klein-Roebuck. And Barbara is a registered nurse with a Bachelor of Science in Nursing from Wagner College and a Master of Science in Healthcare Administration from the University of Laverne. She's a holistic nurse who was honored in 1996 as the Holistic Nurse of the Year. Little did I know I'm interviewing a star, right? By the American Holistic Nurses Association. Barbara has been dedicated to the healing arts and teaching her clients about healthy options for years. Since 1999, she has combined these options with many advanced technologies from Niken, a 47-year-old wellness company. Her current emphasis is on self-care with the goal of balancing the 5 pillars of health, which I absolutely love: body, mind, family, society, and finances. Those sounds like some worthy pillars to me. Barbara's also the co-founder of Affirmative Therapy Products, which we're going to be talking about today, recordings with positive affirmations for caregivers and individuals living with cognitive challenges. And then, of course, that brings us to Donna McCullough. She has a PhD in clinical has a PhD and is a clinical psychologist with a private practice in Orange County. She earned her doctoral degree from Washington University in 1994. Dr. McCullough helps people identify and let go of limiting perceptions, beliefs, behaviors, and emotions. She must be very busy, right? She believes that everything that happens in one's life can be used to propel one towards a greater sense of peace and happiness. I agree 150%. Dr. McCullough uses cognitive behavioral therapy, EMDR, and DBT, as well as mindfulness and meditation practices for clients who are open to this approach. Dr. McCullough worked for UCSD Alzheimer's Disease Research Center, conducting neuropsychological and cognitive evaluations of adults living with memory and cognitive challenges, including Alzheimer's, help me with this one, multi-infarct dementia.
You got it. Yeah.
Parkinson's disease and Huntington's disease. She's the co-founder of Affirmative Therapy Products, positive affirmations paired with relaxing music for people living with memory and cognitive challenges and their caregivers. Welcome you both. I am so excited to have an opportunity to connect and kind of dive into what we're talking about today. So thank you for being here.
It is our pleasure. Thank you, Mark. Happy to be here.
All right. So I guess the big question is, and this is really the theme for the day, is what are affirmative therapy products? So Barb, take a run at it. Let me know what your thoughts are on that.
Okay, sometimes we say AGP, we know what we're talking about,
Yes.
but these are audio programs that are filled with positive affirmations. And these are stated in the present tense because affirmations are the now. And basically, there's 2 programs. One is for the caregivers, and it'd be a caregiver for any type of diagnosis. And we all know caregivers they don't get enough out of girls and out of boys. And so, and the feedback we've had, we can share is wonderful. The other one is getting to be even more necessary in this world of ours for anybody with cognitive issues, no matter where they are on the MMSE scale, it doesn't really matter. And actually anybody without a problem can benefit from listening. I've had people say, oh, I love to listen to these. So the actual scripts are 7 minutes long each, and they go repeated for an hour, over the course of an hour. And so we're just really just thrilled to bring this back to the surface again. We never did go to Oprah, so it could have gotten worldwide. But here it is again. And now the whole concept of dementia and caregivers is a little more in the forefront for people.
Absolutely. And I think I have.
I forgot to mention, wait a minute, one more thing.
Okay,
the music behind all this stuff is Mark Romero, and each one was composed separately, and it's people are just so thrilled with how it makes them feel. So
and I'm so honored to have had an opportunity, even though looking back, way back, and then when it resurfaced, I'm like, oh, well, how cool is that? And that's why I definitely wanted to get you two on today. And thank you again for being here. So I love that. And I think also, as you kind of get exposed to that arena, you realize how caregivers, that's a tough gig, and it's like, I've seen that firsthand now with people that are taking care of my father and how hard and challenging that can be. So I love that you created something for them in particular. And then of course, for the individual who is dealing with these things. And you're right. After listening through, and I have to say this, I'm like going, Barb has got like the meditative voice, man. It's just like, what? That's Barb? I'm like, oh, that's amazing. So, I mean, that's beautiful. And so definitely very excited. So I'm curious, Donna, how did you get started with affirmative therapy products?
Well, let's see. So as you mentioned, it was probably been at least 10 years. My stepfather had Alzheimer's disease, and he was living at home with my mom. She was his main caregiver. And I decided to reach out to colleagues and even the minister at the church that I was going to see if I could find some way to help them. They were both kind of struggling, as you know, how it can be. So the minister at the church that I was going said, you should talk to Barbara. And I knew Barbara, but I didn't know that she was involved with this really amazing project that actually it was a psychologist in South Carolina who started it. And she wrote these affirmations for a client of hers who had Alzheimer's disease. So we contacted this psychologist and said we were interested in her program. And she was sort of done working with it. So she was happy to have us sort of pick up the ball and go from there. So we decided to do that. And then, of course, we asked you, we knew that, music would just add so much more to the affirmations, which are beautiful in and of themselves, but we were familiar with your work. So we brought you on and then created these CDs.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah. So, and we marketed them for a while, but both Barbara and I were kind of busy with our own full-time jobs. And like she said, we never reached out to Oprah, and we didn't really have the time to commit to really, really getting the word out there. So we set it aside. And then about a year ago, my daughter, who's 24, started working at a local memory care facility. And she would tell me about the residents and just in general, how they were struggling and how they were doing. And it just really pulled on my heartstrings because I realized, we have this great resource and we're not doing anything with it. And at the same time, I realized that the technology had improved. Whereas the first time, I don't know if I mentioned that they were CDs, but now we've decided that we could use MP3 recordings. So contacted Barbara, she was completely on board, and we decided to just sort of, rejuvenate the project, and here we are.
That's awesome. I love that. And I love that also, I think even, of course, back then, I think when we first crossed paths, I knew there was healing qualities to the music and that it could be, but I didn't really know what it is that I know today. So I'm so honored to have done the music for this and combine it with what you two are doing to really bring forward what I really feel is a beautiful, powerful tool. I've been playing some music for my father, and I've seen shifts in him just being able to relax, even though he might fall asleep or whatever, just to be able to relax and to let go of that stress and that tension. Because, there's a lot of, well, obviously you get upset when you realize that you're forgetting things, you're forgetting your life, you've lost part of your identity. And so, anything that I can certainly do to help to take those edges off for him is extremely powerful. So I guess, Barb, I wanted to ask you, who can use these recordings, and really how are they used? How do you recommend using them and optimizing them?
Okay, well, anybody, in a way, we all could benefit from those kind of affirmations. And actually, I should backtrack and say originally we were calling them dementia, and then we kind of segued into cognitive issues. And we are now calling this health and wellness, because it's not just a person with cognitive issues that can really benefit from this. So the health and wellness spectrum kind of covers much more. So they can actually be used in a private home by a caregiver. They can be used at a facility, at a board and care facility, or at a memory care unit at a big facility. And they actually can be used as a group activity, in a small home. Sometimes you have 6 or 7 people in a living room, and they have an activity, or they have a person coming in to present, so they can, and that's the dog whining. He misses daddy. So, but basically, they can be in a circle and quiet and then listening. But it also can be used at night when you're going to sleep. And gosh, that's been done. So, there's a lot of ways that these can be used.
That's excellent. And what are some of the demonstrated benefits that you've seen people using these products, for people living with memory and cognitive challenges, not only for them, but also for their caregivers? What are some of the benefits that people?
That's the exciting part. I'll give you one example of what we had back 10, 12 years ago. We had a lady who was caregiver for her mom, and her mom was into more moderate dementia, was very difficult, very hard to redirect, very obstinate, negative, it was really such a challenge for the caregiver family member. And so the daughter bought the CD, put it into a CD player at her mom's bedside when she went to sleep, and just left the room. The next morning, she comes in. I get the chills every time I share this. But the next morning, she comes in, mom's sitting at the bed, wanting, what can I wear today and what's for breakfast? And it was just such a total 180. So it just calms them. It makes them easier. In dementia care, maybe you already know this, the art of redirection, because sometimes cognitive patients, they want to do something that's not safe. And so we have a way of helping them just kind of put that aside and move on to something else. And the good news of that is they might forget they asked. So, can I drive my car? How about you drive tomorrow? I'll do it today. So, it's just a calming, supportive way of not confronting and not making anybody bad or saying they're wrong or they can't do something. So you're not treating this person like a child.
That's awesome. And what a beautiful gift that is, that you can bring forward to somebody, really navigating that. I just have a tremendous amount of compassion for anybody, my father included, as he navigates through this shift and this change. He knows something's changed. He knows that, as he puts it, he's losing part of his mind. And, and I just, my heart goes out 1,000 ways. And I mean, just to be able to bring something forward that can bring relief and kind of take the edge off of that, challenging situation, I think it's beautiful. That's awesome. So thank you so very much for sharing that.
On the website, I should add that if people read the website, they can see a whole bunch of other positive comments from people who've experienced that and expressed that in a different way. So there's a lot of praise out there.
Excellent. So ATP is a form of meditation / guided imagery. Mindfulness and meditation obviously are becoming more and more accepted into society. How well accepted is this approach in the professional community that deals with Alzheimer's disease? Donna, I'd love to have you answer that.
Sure, sure. Yeah. Yeah, this is really exciting because alternative forms of healing are definitely being used more and more. It used to be that one would say, this person has Alzheimer's disease. Now, this politically correct terminology is this person is living with memory and cognitive challenges or living with Alzheimer's disease, because the focus is shifting from just keeping the person safe and maybe comfortable to actually realizing that these people can still have lives, that they can still participate in service activities or hobbies, cooking, musical instruments, whatever it is that they're interested in. So what we have found is that over this last 10 or 15 years, there's been changes in the memory care facilities where things like music therapy, art therapy, aromatherapy, meditation sessions, mindfulness activities are actually happening on a regular basis, on a daily basis. So this is where the ATP will fit right in, because, for example, at Silverado, which is one of they have it's a pretty well-known memory care facility, kind of sets the gold standard for some of the others, because they do really put a lot into quality of life for the residents. They have a meditation and aromatherapy session every day. So they're actually just, one of their facilities is using our product or our recording during this hour-long session where the residents can listen. Sometimes they're engaged in other activities. Sometimes they might be napping. But the nice thing is that you can actually absorb the messages even while you're falling asleep, like some of us used to do in college, right? Record your notes and then go to sleep listening to them. So listening to it right before sleep works really well. Anyway, so yeah, there's a lot of really exciting, innovative things happening with regard to alternative forms of health and medicine. So this is one of them.
I think it's beautiful. And, obviously, of course, being in music and energy healing arena, I remember 10 years ago going to a company saying, hey, I want to bring this technology into your business to help you be more profitable, more successful, have better quality of life. They all looked at me like deer in the headlights, like, okay, how's music? Now
Right.
you're going to help me do that. But now that's changing. Now it's like there's been such a big shift in consciousness that people are more and more open to looking at alternatives, looking at sound healing, looking at vibration, affirmation in ways that I've never seen before. So I think it's really exciting. And I think what a beautiful time to bring this back out. I think, it's so much needed in the world today, because obviously this is a huge issue, not only here in the United States, but around the world. So I'm holding the space, and that's why I wanted to have you both on today, to really have an opportunity to share and to reflect and really to, I'm extremely grateful that you're bringing forward this powerful tool. Whether I did the music or not, I just love the affirmations when I was listening to it the other day when I went back and kind of remastered the tracks and stuff. So, it was such a beautiful space to be able to create for myself, and I'm honored to be part of it, of course. I guess the big question is people would like to know, how can they access the recordings? So where do we find out more? How can we get in touch with you?
Okay, well, that's really easy. We have a website, and the URL is www.affirmativetherapyproducts.com. And on the website, you can actually listen to a sample of each of the two recordings. It's about a 3 to 4 minute sample. And you can also, you'll see the testimonials, you'll learn more about the products, and then you can order right there by pushing add to cart. And you can use credit card or PayPal, and then I will get a notification and then email them back to you, usually within 24 hours.
Got it. That's awesome. So once again, could you share the URL?
Yes, it is AffirmativeTherapyProducts.com.
Got it. Affirmative.
All lowercase.
.com, all lowercase. All right. So, Barb, I know you're just like going, there must be a final thought, a final thing that you'd love to share today? No pressure.
A final thought.
Yeah. Do you have a final thought to share? What would be your final
I
thought to
think
share with everything we've gone over?
I think it's very special to be on a mission to put this out there. And I'm actually no longer, I'm retiring my RM, but I will never depart from holistic approaches and holistic healing and energy and this is just it's so needed. So I'm just so excited that Ria talked to Donna about what was going on in the assisted living facilities, and then that kind of said, let's bring this back. So again, I'm not the gate. I'm grateful for the rest of the people that do that stuff. But yeah, we think this is something so special, and it's time to get it out there.
I agree. And that's why we're here today and on this. So, Dr. Donna, brings me back to you. What final thought thing would you love to share with everything that we've gone over today? And I'm sorry, I didn't plan them to tell us. I always kind of hit people up on the unknown because I really want to catch to see what can come up. So excuse my, not prepping you in advance with that final question.
That's okay. No, I'm actually happy that you asked. Because I didn't share yet that I love these. I love listening to these, especially the health and well-being recording. The music is absolutely, it's just beautiful. It really, really is. And I can feel the healing energy in it. And then Barbara's voice, like you pointed out, Mark, is just like, I don't know, smooth like butter. I don't know what to say, but it's beautiful too. And the energy in both the music and her words and the affirmations themselves. So I really hope, we're really doing this because we really truly just want to get it out there. And so it's really an honor to be able to do that. And thank you so much for having us on your podcast. And thank you so much for your participation with your music. It's really important, a really important addition to this recordings.
So awesome. Well, thank you so very much. And I invite everybody to go check out the website and make sure I got this right. AffirmativeTherapyProducts.com.
That's it. Yes.
All right.
Yep.
I'm on par. And these two ladies are angelic in nature. They shine brightly way back when. They're still shining today. And I love the dedication and what it is that you're bringing forward. And I just want to thank you both, for being true to that calling that's within you, to bring something forward, to help so many of us that are dealing with this. I mean, way back when we first met, I wasn't dealing with this in my life personally. So now today it's interesting that it's kind of come around full circle in a time and space where, I'm experiencing this with my father and helping him navigate this as best as possible. So thank you for providing me and all the rest of us with some really powerful tools to help change the world and help to make lives better. So thank you so very much. And thank you for being on today. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. If you have any questions, and once again, go to the website and check it out. You can also reply in comments and we'll be more than happy to respond. And there will definitely be a link in comments too that you can follow along to the website if that's something you'd like to learn more about. And of course, to have the experience of sharing with those that you love the most. So take care. Have a harmonious day.